Hi knitters, welcome back to my 6th episode. I am Aro of Aro Knits and Purls. Welcome back if you are returning, welcome if you are new. I need to tell you guys that we have hit a milestone between the last episode and this. I have hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers. And cue the parade, confetti, balloons. One day I will have an iPad with iMovie so I can like edit in effects, because right now I just do this, you know, in one go on my phone, no editing. So if you ever hear weird sounds, it's my dogs next to me. If you see me sneeze, you know, you're welcome, all natural, no editing whatsoever. One day. Anyway, so thank you guys. You have made like all my dreams come true. And like, it sounds super cheesy to say, but it really was. Like, when I started my knitting Instagram and then this podcast, like, my secret wish to myself was like, maybe one day when I go to a fiber event like Rhinebeck or Stitches West, maybe one day I'll go and someone might recognize me. Like, that's all I wanted. I wanted one friend that I made on Instagram to be like, Aro, it's you in person. And like, that was it. That was my one goal. And I think I'll definitely have that happen because I've made so many friends now. In fact, like, one of my closest friends in Utah is Megan of Kimchi & Co. And we met at Blazing Needles when I was working there part-time, and she realized that she followed me from back when I was still living in Texas. And like, that was crazy. And now we're really good friends and we hang out and stuff. So yeah, like, you guys, every single one of you has contributed to making this, you know, dream life a reality for me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And really, my life hasn't changed except that I share my knitting on YouTube as well as Instagram. But anyway, like, thank you guys. Okay, so in terms of what I got, I haven't got a lot of stuff recently because I have been catching up to my really bad spending habits, or rather, my really bad spending habits have caught up to me. That's a better way to phrase it, because I definitely went a little bit crazy after. So again, my mom died December of last year, and afterwards I kind of went into like a hedonist state of like, whatever makes me happy for even a second, I'm gonna do it. And I did it a lot. I still have a bunch of pre-orders to come, and like, most of the yarn I'm waiting on, they're pre-orders, they're big pre-orders. One from Explorer Knits, one from Through the Wardrobe Company. I just ordered Camellia Fibers yarn. She's doing a Pride colorway, which is like, it's a white base with rainbow speckles. And when you hear rainbow speckles, you should immediately think of me, because like, that's my everything, okay? Yeah, so I treated myself to that too. So I'm waiting on a bunch of pre-orders. The only things I did get were a couple stitch marker sets. So actually I got 3 stitch marker sets, all from Hello Lavender. And I'm sure you guys have seen, and you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Reshma's work. This is one set. I can't neatly organize these. This is the other set. There's the 3rd set. I have it already on a project, and I'm going to show you that in a second, but I really love these. I'm actually going to save this one to give as a giveaway prize. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I've done a few giveaways before. I think I've only done a couple, but they're for like big benchmarks, and I did one recently for 2,500 followers, so I think the next one will be for 3,500 followers, so that set will be a prize for that. So keep your eyes peeled. If you're not following me on Instagram, what are you doing? I'm kidding, you don't have to follow me. It's your choice who you follow. But I like my content, so I highly recommend it, is what I'll say. Yeah, so stitch markers are new. I love stitch markers these days. I think it's because like, I'm reaching that point where like, my yarn gives me anxiety because I know I have to use it up one day. Otherwise, like, I'll just be left with a bunch of yarn when I die. So maybe I'm trying to like switch in my mind to getting other things that are still knitting related, but not just yarn. And the other yarn that I did get recently is this. This was a custom dye order from the Kinetic Knitter. So Kara made this colorway called Autumn Copper. And it's really like, it's rusty red, but there's like a slight pinkish glow to it. And I don't know how you can make that magic happen, because it is stunning. Like really, it looks like autumn copper. And I don't know if you guys know this. Well, you probably don't, because it's covered up behind me all the time. But this square is all oranges. Like oranges and deep reds and yellows. Like I love autumnal colors. Autumn is like my season, as well as spring. Spring obviously wins because it has 3 squares. Spring wins. But autumn is also one of my faves. And this colorway is perfect for it. Yeah, so thank you, Kara, for doing that custom dye job for me. And like, that's like the only thing that has changed in my life in terms of like becoming quote unquote well known in the knitting community. And like, guys, I only have 3,000 followers. Like, it's a lot considering I started with a big fat 0. So I worked my way up a lot. And so I still think of that as a lot, but it's not like nobody's throwing free shit at me. I'm not getting sponsorships. I'm not getting like free yarn support whenever. Like the only thing I've gotten for being who I am now, I think is because, well, one, I think dyers are more willing to do custom orders for me. And I don't think it's a testament to my quote unquote status in the community. I think it's because like I talk to these dyers a lot. I buy from them a lot. So they're like, yeah, I'll make a custom dye order for you because we're friends at this point. And I think that's more likely. The only thing I've gotten for free is one $8 pattern that I didn't even test for. That's it. Like that, the one thing, guys. Like, so when you think like, oh, your life must have changed a lot since you started this podcast, since you became successful on Instagram. No, all of this that you see behind me and all that I've told you is in my home, just like squirreled away, like just boxes and boxes of yarn. Like it's all just bad spending habits. It's all on me. It's no gift. No one's sponsoring me. It's all me. For good or bad. Mainly bad when I look at my credit card bills. But anyway, yes, it's all me. I'm not getting anything for free. So I just want to reassure you guys. Like I'm not getting a big old head more than like my head is naturally large. I'm not getting anything for free except for that $8 pattern. And if it really came down to it, I'll pay that $8 pattern, whatever. Yeah, so I just want to reassure you guys, like, nothing in my life is changing. I'm still buying all of this. Whew. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, dye to order. Oh, if you guys are garment knitters and like you really love indie dyers, but they never have it in stock for you, like they don't have enough, reach out to them. Usually they'll have like an email or you can DM them if they're really small dyers. Just reach out to them and see what's possible, because generally speaking, they're more than happy and willing to accommodate. They just didn't create a listing that says custom dye, because when you open it up for custom dyes, like you can't control when it happens. But if, for example, that, you know, they're kind of tight on funds themselves and they just have a bunch of plain undyed yarn lying around, yeah, they'll do a custom dye job for you and both parties will benefit. So just reach out. It's worth asking. And if they say no, then that's it. It's a no. That nothing, you know, no skin off your back, right? So just try reaching out. Okay. Now I did get yarn that was new to me, but it isn't new yarn. And let me explain what that means, because that sounds really weird. So my friend, Megan, Kimchi & Co., and another friend of ours in Salt Lake, we decided to meet up and do a fiber swap, because all 3 of us have extremely large stashes, like just ridiculously large. And when you buy a large stash and you have accumulated it over a number of years, you realize that some of those colors, like, you're probably not going to use. Some of those dyers you're probably not going to use. And it's not like a knock against the yarn. It's just like, it's not for you anymore. And sure, you could try to sell it online. Sure, you could donate it. We have a great creative reuse here in town in Salt Lake. It's called Creative Octopus, by the way. It's a great name. But like, I could do that, sure. Or I could see if my friends want some. And yeah, so I am gifting my friends some yarn. So I'm gifting sweater quantity of this Mad Tosh. I have a whole bunch of this. And some Anzula. I have 2 skeins of Anzula as well. And I'm just gonna send them to my friend Andrea. For those of you who don't know, Andrea makes like wellness videos on Instagram Reels, and also she puts them on her YouTube, and she just started a podcast. I'll link it in the description, but you should really follow her, and she's great. So I'm gonna send this to her because she loves blues, and I went through like a whole big blue phase, but I don't like blues anymore. So I'm giving them to her. But anyway, so my friend Megan and I and our other friend, we met up and we ate delicious food, and we had a yummy rainbow cake. If you guys saw my stories, that's what that was about. We were just like shooting the shit and swapping yarn and seeing if we wanted to like take anything home. And there was no pressure. Like when we came up with a rule, originally it was like for every 100 gram or 50 gram skein you swap, you should give up the same equivalent amount. But really, like we all brought so much yarn. Like I brought in like probably 100 skeins. It was bad. And each one of them probably put in 100 skeins as well. So it was just a free for all. And like, it wasn't like we never like fought over yarn. We were just like doing little bits and pieces. So let me show you some of the stuff I got. So in terms of single skeins, my friend Megan, Kimchi & Co, she is a much more versatile knitter in terms of like what she makes. She went through a big sock phase, so she does have single skeins. Whereas the other friend and I, we are pure garment knitters. Like we don't make accessories, we just make garments. So we don't have just single skeins lying around generally. I do sometimes, but that's for color work. But these are the single skeins I got. This is Playful Day Yarns, and I do adore her yarns. And this is a new to me dyer. And I grabbed it because it's pretty and minty, and I love mint, you guys know that. But I'm really excited about this one especially because this color is Viola by Playful Day, and I know it's a repeatable colorway, and I want to order a couple more because seeing it in person, it's really gorgeous, and it's a very versatile neutral color, so I'm very excited to have it and see how pretty it is in person. So I will definitely be ordering more so I can make a full-size garment. And so those are single skeins. I guess these are single skeins, but they all kind of go together. These are all by the same dyer. I don't want to switch them all. Anyway, these are great. I love them very much. And I'm probably going to combine them just into like a striped autumnal sweater. But yeah, it was really fun to see doing the swap because I got to see dyers that I normally don't know or I've never worked with, but I've been interested in trying. And I also got some that were a little bit out of my comfort zone, like this colorway. You guys know I love Autumn and Indigo. This is Autumn and Indigo, and it's her Surrey. This colorway is Stone, and I normally wouldn't probably pick this just for myself because it's a little bit more mauve than I would like. But seeing it in person, actually, it's really beautiful, and I think it would make a great cardigan. Since I knit that cardigan for Gregoria Fibers, the Gabrielle cardigan, I've kind of been more into cardigans. And I know that's very strange for me because up to now, I really didn't want to knit cardigans because you have to purl. But that colorway is really well suited for it. And another thing I got in the yarn swap was this. I actually got sweater quantity of this. There's a couple more that are already caked though. So this is Ampersand Fibers. And for those of you who don't know, Ampersand Fibers is the yarn line that Shop La Mercerie, am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. Yeah, Shop La Mercerie, I'll link below, but this is her yarn. And I had a friend reach out to me and go like, Aro, I got these colors and they're totally you. And I was like, oh, I don't know, that looks really rustic. And she was like, no, it's so much softer than you think. And I was still skeptical because I'm really sensitive to texture, like super sensitive. So that's why I like superwash. But now that I've touched this, I agree. This is really soft. Like this is 100% Corriedale. Corriedale, if you guys know your sheep fibers, is a specific breed of sheep, I think. And you could see it close up. There's rustic qualities to the yarn, but it seems really more aesthetic than textural. So if you want that rustic look without sacrificing like the next to skin softness, I think this is a great yarn. And I think it's also pretty price accessible compared to some other indie dyers. So I highly recommend it if you have been looking for something a little rustic. So I'm really excited to have that. Now that I've seen it in person, I definitely want more colors. Yes. So yeah, the swap was just a lot of fun. It was just nice to talk to other people who are just as crazy about you. And like, that's something I want to bring up. When you buy yarn, you're in it, you love it in the moment. It's okay to fall out of love with a yarn, because like I said, like I went through a whole big blue phase, and now I don't like blue yarn. I like ice blue, but I don't want like deep blue. Like I have a couple left. And if I can find them good homes, then awesome, but they're not for me right now, and that's okay. Like, I know I made bad financial decisions because I probably shouldn't have spent that money, but also like, it's okay. It made me happy in the moment, and it makes me happy to know that they're being given to people who will enjoy them. So that's all right. Yeah. Oh, and before I forget, the most important thing that I got at the fiber swap is this sweater. My friend Megan, Kimchi & Co., she made it, and she was like, I don't think I was ever gonna wear that that neckline because I don't like it, and I love this neckline. So I said, I'll take it if you don't want it, and she did an amazing job. The seaming on this is very neat, you know, and it looks super comfy, and I'm glad we're pretty much the same size. Like, it's really cute. I really like it. It's the Weekender, for those of you who are curious, and I think the yarn that she used was Camellia Fiber Company. I don't know what base, but I really like it, and it looks super cute. So I'm very happy that I got it. So thank you, Megan. And I'm not claiming credit. I didn't make this. I am wearing it, but it's great. Yeah, I have a few sweaters that I probably don't plan on wearing again. So maybe I'll see if Megan wants them. You know, fair turnaround, right? We'll see. Okay, so really quickly, what I finished. You guys saw this last time, but this is the quadratus. If you recall, actually, the bottom, when I showed it last time, I had finished the body. What I showed last time, there was like a big color work section of pink, because that's what the kit originally came with. And I knew at that moment when I finished it, I wasn't gonna like it, because the pink was just such a harsh transition, whereas the transition from the top mint to white, it's like seamless, you know? But with the pink, it was just so harsh that it was actually disrupting the design. And the design originally uses like 5 contrast colors that transition slowly, and they look really good. Depending on the type of yarn you use, I think I've seen ones that look more clunkier than I would like, but like I really wanted a seamless look. And so after I finished one sleeve, and that's the sleeve detail, by the way, I finished one sleeve, and I went back and ripped out the body, or rather the bottom of the body, so I could go back, and now I'm so much happier with it because it looks a lot truer to what I wanted, which was like a seamless transition. And also, I love this mint color. I want more. Yeah, Stacey Elstone of Stress Knits, like, you can just make more pillow mint and I will buy it from you every single time. Just letting you know if you want to make more. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I should have listened to my instinct when I first put on the pink, and I knew it was going to be too much. It was just too harsh a transition. It's a very beautiful pink. I plan on using it for something else, but yeah, now I'm so much happier with the finished product now, and I know I'm gonna wear this a whole freaking bunch because it's gorgeous, gorgeous. And continuing on the I should have listened to my instincts train, there's another incident in which I didn't listen to my instincts. So you guys saw last time in my True Crime Knit Night, I was working on this sweater, the Bits and Bauble sweater by Rachel Knits Things. And I completely love the design, like so much, with a burning passion. And I also love this yarn. I showed it to you guys in my last episode, the 5th one, where I showed you that rainbow. And I was gonna hold it double. It's fingering held double. And I realized I hated the drape. There is no drape. It's just chonky, clunky. And it's not the fault of the yarn, it's just when you hold fingering together, like at this tight of a gauge, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit chonky. It happens. And I just didn't like it. And I knew I didn't like it by the time I was like here, but I still kept going because I'm stubborn. And I kept going all the way to sleeve separation. And let me tell you guys, like, undoing baubles is like a pain in the ass. Like I got to sleeve separation and I undid the third color where you separate your sleeves, and then I got to the bauble row and I just stopped undoing it because it was so annoying. Like, because you have to essentially bind off some stitches when you make the bauble. Like, look, there's just baubles hanging out. It's just a headache. So I had a friend ask me who'd never done baubles, like, was it annoying to do? Because I've heard that also as well. Like, people are like, oh, it's so annoying to make baubles, blah, blah, blah. I don't mind making them, especially the way Rachel makes them, because she makes them like so cute and round. Like, I have never seen baubles look so neat generally. Like, all the tutorials I've seen have them kind of looking a little bit wonky and they just look somewhat nipply, but these, they're just like cute little circles, you know? Anyway, yeah, so making baubles is nowhere near as annoying as undoing baubles. So now that I know that, you do too. I thought about holding the fingering weight single with a strand of mohair at first, but if you look closely at this yarn, the reason I love this yarn, well, for many reasons, the color, but also it's a white tweed. So you have these beautiful, delicate white tweed chunks in it. Nubs, that's what they're called. But the nubs weren't worth sacrificing having a sweater I knew I'd actually love wearing. So I decided to start over, completely start over, and cast on again, fingering just the single, same color, but held with undyed mohair. And I am infinitely happier with the outcome. Like, first, you guys know I love mohair, so that's one thing. Like, part of why I loved Rachel's design so much was because it was rainbow, but also it was mohair-y. Her yarn is different, it's a different base. It's the Hobby Diablo, I think it was. But anyway, like, it has that halo that her project did, which I love. And because of the undyed mohair, you know, it's white. So it tones down the color just a smidge, so it makes it true pastel. And I got this yarn again from Black Squirrel in Berkeley, and to them, they're pink, you know, this color. This is a pastel pink, but to me, that's a neon pink. So the white mohair tones it down just a smidge, so it's true pastel, and it really fits my aesthetic more. Oh, also, before I forget, this is the Hello Lavender rainbow stitch marker that I put on it, because it's gonna be a rainbow sweater, so hell yeah, I'm gonna put the rainbow stitch marker on it. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. I'm infinitely happier, and you can already see, like, there's a much better drape, you know? Like, I'm really happy with it. You do lose a little bit of the tweed action. They're not as visible with the halo of the mohair, but really, I'm infinitely happier with it, and I wish I had just done this from the beginning when I knew I wasn't gonna like it held together just in that chunky mess. So yeah, I'm really happy now that I'm getting back on track. All this progress was from one day, so I think I'll just be able to catch up very soon. But yes, I also showed you guys this test knit last time, but I only had like 1/2 of it done. This is the Petal Party crop by Samantha Guerin, and I told you guys the yarn is La Bien Aimée Winter Garden, and now I have combined front and back obviously, and attach, like, there's sleeve I'm eventually going to pick up and do a little garter edge sleeve, but I'm really excited about it because it's a different construction than I normally do, and I'm most excited because now that I've joined the body together, I don't have to purl anymore. Yes, because I really don't like purling. I don't hate it with a burning passion. I know some people who hate it more than I do, but it definitely does. It's a different flow than when I just do a stockinette. But yeah, I'm really happy to be progressing. Okay, now I have to tell you guys, I signed up for another test knit. I know. I actually, like, the day before the test call went live, I sent it to my friends, and I specifically said, tell me not to do this. And so they said, Aro, don't do it. But I did, because, okay, so it's another Rachel Knits Things pattern, and guys, like when I fall in love with a designer, I fall in love hard. So her Clio cardigan, and one day when I have my iPad, I will show you the image of the sweater that I'm talking about instead of just having you guys look it up on your own. But the Clio cardigan, it's beautiful, and it uses 2 strands of mohair held together, and y'all know I love mohair, so I couldn't say no. And I have it in stash. I'm using stash. Like, you guys know I'm always trying to use up my stash so I can add more to my stash. Yeah, so this is Camellia Fiber Company once more. Yes, it's her mohair, silk mohair. The colors were released in early spring of this year. This is clay and this is clay dust. And I'm gonna hold the 2 of them together. And I already had sweater quantity, so I knew it was a good idea to use up 6 skeins of mohair. Anyway, it's really pretty, and actually, if you guys notice, they're kind of fleshy toned. This one's too light for me, obviously. This one's too dark, but held together, I think it'll be the perfect flesh tone. And why am I looking for a flesh tone, you ask? It's because Shelly Can, she's an artist in the knitting community who does lots of pins and stickers and t-shirts and mugs and whatever else have you. Like, she makes a lot of stuff, and I adore Shelly Can. And she's doing another round of Threadbare Craft Along. For those of you who don't know, that Threadbare Craft Along, it was started last year, and it was inspired by, like, she had some like yarn that was too flesh toned, and she felt weird about making a garment that was too flesh toned, and then she decided to like, no, I'm gonna embrace it. So then she started a craft along. You could sew, you could crochet, you could knit, whatever making, as long as it's fleshy toned. And last year I made my Alder Grove with that, and it was by accident, you know, because the yarn came a little bit more, you know, flesh colored than I intended it to be when I ordered it online. But it turned out great because Shelly Can started that craft along, and that's what I'm gonna do this time, but on purpose, and I'm really excited. Yeah, so that's really it. I'm excited to do more test knits. Obviously, I'm going to stop soon so that I can eventually design my own patterns. I have some ideas. I think I'm gonna put like the summer tops on hold, obviously, because by the time I'm done with my last test knit that I signed up for, it'll be August. So fall, winter, look out for some designs, hopefully, fingers crossed. And maybe I'll run my own test knit so I stop signing up for others. But anyway, thank you guys for coming back. I'm so excited to see you, and let me know what you guys have been working on, what you guys bought. If it's something I recommended, use like, let's use a hashtag. Hashtag like Aro made me do it, or Aro made me. Yeah, Aro made me. Let's use that for like test knits, for buys, whatever. Yeah, that'll be fun. It's me, it's just gonna be me using the hashtag like I made me do it, Aro made me. But anyway, thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy your weekend and week, and I will see you guys next week, so bye.